Well, folks, it's that time of year once again. Yes, that time of year where everybody and their grandma makes predictions of what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Yeah, and I'm no different. So, well, I'm sure some of you want to know what my predictions are going to be. So here we go. Let's go right into the card. I suppose we'll go in order of matches, the matches that will suck the most, the ones that will suck the least. We'll start with, obviously the match that's going to suck the most. It's Dolph Ziggler and Lay Cool versus John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Groan. Yes, Snooki. Now, I know a lot of people disdain the Jersey Shore. I'm from Jersey, and yes, we hate it more than anybody else. Anyway, I'm not going to even get into that. As much as I'd like to see Snooki's team turn on her and beat the crap out of her, that would be fun and enjoyable. Anyway, there's no way that the good guy, that Snooki, Trish, and John Morrison are going to lose here, so they're going to go over. And the less we talk about that, the better. Let's move on to something else. What will suck less than that? In order, let's go with the 8-man tag match. The Core: Barrett, Jackson, Gabriel, and Slater versus Big Show, Kane, Santino, and Vladimir Kozlov. And rumor is it that Kozlov will be beaten up and replaced by Kofi Kingston. And it doesn't make a difference to me in the outcome. If the WWE has any plans for the stable, the Core, then I think they should win this 8-man tag. I don't think it really matters if Big Show and Kane lose the 8-man tag. So I'm going with the Core to win. Next up, we'll talk about Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes. And this certainly has some potential to be a very interesting match. That is, the big key is the amount of time that they get. If you remember last year's match, Rey had with CM Punk had like 6 minutes, and it didn't get a chance to steal the show because you can't steal a show in a 5-minute match. And I'm concerned that that'll probably be the same case. This will probably be early in the show. This could be a good choice for the opener, if you ask me. So, the way the feud has gone, it's been mostly Cody over the last few weeks. So as much as it would be great to see Cody Rhodes get a big win over Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, if the match is short and it doesn't get the time it will, and it wouldn't really be a defining win for Cody anyway if it's a 5-minute match. The way I see it, I think Rey gets the win, like a roll-up of some sort, and maybe Cody gets a post-match beatdown. I'm going to say Rey Mysterio wins. Okay, what's next? Let's go with Jerry Lawler versus Michael Cole. Now, this is a work rate. It's going to suck, and it's going to be really bad. But let's face it, we're not watching this for a wrestling match. We're watching this because we want to see Michael Cole get his ass handed to him. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the referee. This is what's going to happen. Michael Cole will try to use trickery to get an upper hand. Lawler overcomes it. Jack Swagger gets a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin. That seems to be a no-brainer. Lawler pins Michael Cole and wins after beating the crap out of him for a few minutes. And what the hell, Michael Cole gets a stunner too. And maybe let's have JR come out and get some revenge for what happened on Raw the last few weeks. And then it all ends with King, JR, and Stone Cold drinking beers in the ring. This is the feel-good moment of WrestleMania. Every WrestleMania has that feel-good moment. Like WrestleMania 7 with the Randy Savage and Elizabeth. That was WrestleMania 7, right? And this is no different. The feel-good moment. And someone gets utterly humiliated. So yeah, Jerry the King Lawler's winning. Duh. Alright, what are we going to move on to next? What should I go over next? I'm going to go with the world title match between Edge and Alberto Del Rio. And for months, the way I figured that Alberto Del Rio was going to win the title. And as the event comes along, I'm a little more skeptical now. In a perfect scenario, everyone's going to say, oh, Christian's going to turn on Edge, and that's how he's going to lose. To me, it doesn't make sense to go that direction. I mean, since Christian came back, he's insanely over, in my opinion. It's what my impression I've gotten. And it would be dumb to turn him. If anything, Edge needs to turn, because this babyface champion stuff. I'm fine with the fact that Edge had one title run as a babyface, but let's face it, he's a bad guy. He's awesome as a bad guy. Preferably, I'd like to see him win this match, and as Edge and Christian celebrate in the ring after the match, Edge turns on Christian and beats the crap out of him, setting up a future world title match. Now, the only other possible scenario is maybe Christian accidentally costing Edge the match. To me, I think they wanted to put the belt on Alberto Del Rio. Is he ready? I don't know. The last thing I want to see with Alberto Del Rio is ending up in the Jack Swagger World Champion territory of being having the belt put on too soon, and then the WWE loses confidence in him, and then completely buries him. And just look at how Jack Swagger's been the last 6+ months. We don't want that to happen to Alberto Del Rio, because he's a very interesting character, and I find him very entertaining. And he's not some green rookie like every other guy the WWE brings up. This guy has over a decade of wrestling in Mexico, and he's made the transition to WWE. I think he's done it very well. And even if he loses here, I think he'll still be credible, but I think that they should give him the title here. I don't know if he'll get a long reign, or as impressive a reign as The Miz has gotten, but I say let's give him the title. Let's see what happens. I'm going to say he's going to win. Maybe Christian will turn. I don't want to see it. I don't think it's a good idea. It could happen. Although it wouldn't work with another prediction, which I'll go into in the future. I'd say maybe he accidentally costs him the match. Christian accidentally costs Edge the title match, and we'll go from there. Where are we moving on to next? How about the U.S. title match between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan? Now, if this gets 15+ minutes, it will be awesome. And the question is, after what we've seen the last few weeks, Sheamus has dominated Daniel Bryan. Does that mean that Daniel Bryan's winning back the U.S. title? Well, I mean, Sheamus just won it recently, a few weeks ago. I say he holds on to it in a really good match, but I think that Daniel may win the title from Sheamus down the road. I'm going to say he retains here in what should be a really good matchup. One of the matches, underrated matches. This one could steal the show. Although it could also be the opener. But I think this could be a really good match, a really good WrestleMania match. And let's point out that it's a championship that's being defended at WrestleMania. That's something, the lack of title matches on this show. I'm going to say Sheamus retains. Let's move on to CM Punk versus Randy Orton. And this one, I think, is going to be a really good technical wrestling bout that's going to have a really good story behind it. And what I think it's going to be a good back and forth battle. It's very much a blood feud at this point. And obviously, Randy's going to have to sell the injury. And I'm going to say CM Punk wins. Of course, I think that this feud has really been built well. Punk is awesome on the mic. And Orton has just been Orton, and they've managed to get rid of the crap that is the new Nexus by having Randy Orton kick them all in the head, and really make this come down to Punk and Orton. And I fully expect that this program will continue beyond WrestleMania. So I'm going to say Punk wins via nefarious means. We're using quotes, nefarious means. And this will move to some sort of gimmick match at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Alright, what have I left off? I think I've talked about everything except the two last matches. That's the no-holds-barred match between The Undertaker and Triple H. And let's face facts. If you're a Smark or a Mark or know anything about the history of The Undertaker and the streak, you know that it's not going to end here. I think even Triple H has admitted that the streak should never end. The question is, and this is what intrigues me, is how is it going to come down? How is the match going to be? We know that The Undertaker is maybe not in the best physical shape at this time, and Triple H has had over almost a year off. What physical are they going to be able to put on an amazing match? I think they'll bring their A game. I don't think it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the matches with Shawn Michaels, but it should be very good. They'll tell a great story, and I fully expect Shawn Michaels to get involved. But what's he going to do? Is he going to kick Sweet Chin Music to the Undertaker and try to cost him the match, or is he going to turn on Triple H and cost him the match? I would not be surprised if that's how it ends. Triple H about to end the streak, and then boom, Sweet Chin Music, Undertaker gets the pin. A controversial result, and guess what? I think that would be the logical choice, in my opinion, because then Shawn Michaels steals the show at WrestleMania again. So I'm going to say that's what's going to happen. Shawn Michaels is going to cost Triple H the match. And now it's time for the main event for the WWE title. It's The Miz defending against John Cena, and this one is very tough to pick because as great I think as The Miz has been, I think that John Cena is winning the WWE title. And that was what I was thinking going into this. Then what happened on Monday was very interesting with the exchange between The Rock and John Cena, but will The Rock get involved in this match? That's the key, and how will it affect the outcome? I think regardless of how The Rock gets involved, I think that John Cena is going to walk out of WrestleMania as the WWE champion. And as great as it would be to see The Miz retain, I just can't bet against John Cena at WrestleMania. Every year except one, he's walked out a champion. And until Cena loses a match like this at WrestleMania in this type of situation, I'm not going to bet against him. So there you go. And I'm expecting some amazing exchange maybe between John Cena, The Rock, and maybe The Miz as well. But now, do you think, you guys, I bet you're wondering, I think this will be a great WrestleMania? I think it's going to be a really good WrestleMania. Because other than that crap with Snooki and maybe in that 8-man tag, it doesn't look like a bad card to me. It looks like it'll be better than last year's. And last year's was, I thought, very good. Obviously, the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match from last year saved the show from being a disaster. The abortion that was the McMahon Bret Hart match, that was talk about months of build that led to something awesome, and that was just pure crap. But I don't think you're going to get anything that's going to be that awful, because I think, even the Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, that's not really a match. That's a story. That's Michael Cole getting his ass kicked, and that's probably worth $50 itself. Anyway, I think it's not going to be the best Mania ever. It probably won't crack the top 5, but I think it'll maybe the top 10. We'll see. But you should be excited, even if you're someone who hates. It's just the IWC is just so negative about the state of pro wrestling, thanks to TNA, because you suck, TNA. And I try to have a positive light on the state of the industry. Well, of course, the WWE is apparently going to walk away from the phrase wrestling and just call themselves WWE. Really? Okay. But I think we have TNA to blame for why people have such a negative. And you know what? This is not TNA's day. They'll never have a day like this. This is WrestleMania. This is the WWE. This is what every pro wrestler dreams about, and every fan. If you don't get excited about WrestleMania, if you're not excited, then I'm sorry, you're not a fan, and you're probably not listening to this right now. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on and on, and I'm making no sense at all. So I'm going to end this now. Just recap my picks. It's going to be the core: Morrison, Trish, and Snooki, Rey Mysterio, Jerry Lawler, CM Punk, Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, The Undertaker, and John Cena. And that's it. Well, that's my predictions for WrestleMania. I hope you all enjoy the show, and those of you who are a fan of SCAW, look for the next episode of the Superstar Clash to be up within the next few days.